Oh, oh, oh. I just, I just had the strangest dream. Something about tomatoes and venturing thousands and thousands and thousands of blocks for tomato seeds. How absurd is that? Aren't dreams crazy? It's especially insane because, of course, I have tomato seeds. I've had tomato seeds this whole time. Why would I need to venture thousands and thousands of blocks for tomato seeds? And how silly would it be to venture thousands and thousands of blocks for tomato seeds without checking to see if I actually had any in the first place? What a waste of time that would be. So, yeah, that was pointless. Uh, Whoops. I really don't know why I spent all that time traveling when I could have just gone home and checked my chest and see that I had tomato seeds. I could have saved myself a whole lot of time had I done that. But, whoops. I also noticed a couple issues with our moon sand thing here. Firstly, this was not filtered, so it was extracting things other than moon sand, and it all just got jammed back here, and it was a mess. The other thing was this basin I intentionally didn't filter because I thought, oh, it's only going to compact iron nuggets into ingots and then into blocks, so I'll just filter out the blocks. But it was actually making iron nuggets into iron ingots into iron trapdoors. So there were about 40 iron trapdoors in this basin that I have taken to the melters and started melting down. It's now just doing ingots, which is fine. Like, it's gonna fill up faster, but it's not like this is the fastest iron setup out there. You know, it's just a tiny little 3-block wide design. I have no idea how much of that footage is gonna be usable. I took a quick look through and was kind of surprised at what I saw. I was very tired when I was recording that. And I'm very tired right now, but I feel like my judgment is a little bit better than it was then. My time to record is usually very late at night, and I have had a very long past couple days, so I'm probably not going to be recording for very much here. I'm just gonna see what I can do, because I kind of suspect that even though I have like 6 hours of footage so far for this episode, I probably don't have very much video length, because most of that traveling I think I'm going to cut out, because honestly, I do not expect it is going to be very watchable. So now I just feel like I'm in a really weird position where if that tomato voyage thing was usable and I can use a lot of that for the video, then it's going to take up a lot of time probably, and this is going to be the start of the next episode. But if it wasn't, this is going to be the end of the first episode. So I guess I'm hoping to kind of stall a little bit until I actually get editing done and see if this is going to be part of the same episode as that previous thing. Not to dispel the illusion too much there. So I have another small kind of metal automation thing I want to do here, just like this iron and quartz and dash thing. I want to add on to our lava thing, sort of, because our lava thing here is producing a lot more netherrack, or at least capable of producing a lot more netherrack than we need it to. And it's also kind of wasting resources a lot because it's running the blaze burners even when we don't need lava. So I think I want to like conditionally divert some of the netherrack here into something else, but only if we don't need lava. And then also if we don't need lava, I can turn off the pump to the blaze burners, maybe? Except I can't really do that with the way it's rigged up, so maybe I would want to put valves on each of those to overcomplicate the system more. Actually, it'd be really hard to turn this off with 2 different pumps here. I don't think we need this one anymore, do we? Because that should still be reaching all the way over here. It should still be pulling out, or at least able to pull out if we actually needed lava. But first, in order to switch the lava on or off when it is above or below a certain threshold, we will need a threshold switch, which uses train casings, which we can make either manually in a less efficient way or using this thing, which is more efficient, kind of, but also more annoying. As tempted as I am to do the more efficient one, I don't think we need to. We have infinite obsidian, infinite wood, infinite andesite alloy, or at least the materials to make it, even if we're not making automatically quite yet. There's even a more efficient recipe for the compound mixture here that uses less clay and tin and compressed andesite per like ingot of andesite alloy. So we really can mass produce this stuff, and we have already made quite a bit of it, so I think we are just going to do the less efficient way for now. It's not like we're going to need that many train casings. It's kind of just used for like train stuff, obviously, but outside of that, the threshold switch, smart observer, and that's it, really. It's just those two things, and those are useful two things, but I don't think we need like that many of them. So let's get some of them going. And then we can combine that with some copper sheets and observers to make threshold switches. I'll make 16, sure. While we're at it, let's also make the smart observer here. I'll just make 4 of these because I don't have an idea for how to use them at the moment. Train casings we already had a few of in our toolbox. I think we might have found them somewhere, I don't remember. The threshold switch we might want to find space for in our toolboxes, but I do not know where, because all of our toolboxes are kind of full at this point. Honestly, okay, all the power generation stuff we can probably take out, except maybe the small water wheels. Because if I want to expand power somewhere, it's kind of a bigger project. I don't want to just say like, oh yeah, let me grab my conveniently placed windmill bearing. So let's see if I can remember how the threshold switch works. I think as we put items in that chest, let's just grab something. I think as we put items in, it's going to look like it's filling up, and we can choose, scroll, that's annoying. We can choose like above what threshold it moves down into the powered state, which obviously produces redstone power. And we can also choose like below which threshold it will turn back off. So there's a term for this, I don't remember, but basically there's kind of a dead zone between where it's not gonna like flicker back and forth between being on and off, which is pretty nice. And though I haven't tested it, I assume it works with fluid tanks. And it looks like it. I mean, it's showing full, which is good. Your foundry's finally done. We've gotten so much copper and gold. That should be a visual bug. We were very low in copper before, but all of a sudden we have so much. Good. I literally just came down here for andesite because I need building blocks. We can just run this redstone line along, brushing up against the basalt. And we will have to... Oh, yeah, of course, these are out of lava, so they're not making lava. This sucks, man. I don't know. This isn't even related to the threshold switch thing. I'm still struggling with how to even wire any of this together. So what do I want it to be doing here exactly? I want it to pump from the master tank directly to the blaze burners on a separate line than the one going into the master tank, right? But I think it's actually fine if those are both on the same threshold switch. So I can move this over, and then I want to put pumps like here and there. Alright, I have taken a look over, and I think I have a system here. I just turned off the cauldrons entirely. There's no more pumps pumping out of the cauldrons, just to test this out. So we have this kind of auxiliary tank here that has an output to the blaze burners, an input from the cauldrons, basins I mean, and an output to our big tank over there. And this threshold switch controls everything. So basically if the threshold switch is on, that means it's, you know, somewhere over 50%. then it is able to pump out of here and into our main tank there. If it is not on, then this pump gets turned off, so it stops going over there. This pump gets turned on, so it starts going into the blaze burners. And then this one here is permanently on because it's just connected by the cogwheels on this whole thing. So it should auto-regulate so that once we drop below half a tank here, it should start producing more. And I hope that works. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't know if we're using enough lava to see, but we definitely weren't because that was... I had set that to a straight pipe, so it wasn't connecting over to the obsidian anymore. And the obsidian also connects over to everything else we're actually using it for. So now we should actually start using lava here, I think. I don't know how easy it is going to be to see when it starts to like regulate, because so far it's just staying at pretty much full. The blaze burners, they do look like they're on, which might mean it was drawing out lava for a little bit. But I guess we can test it by putting a couple fluid tanks and having it draw into that. Fill that up. I'm not sure where it's getting all that lava though. The blaze burners are still on, so it's still making more. I mean, that's good, but... Oh, okay, okay. Definitely going down there. And once it goes below half, we should start to see a change. And, okay, yeah. Looks good. Okay, it took about a bucket and a half, it looked like, to start the blaze burners here, maybe? But once they started up, it's climbing back up really high. And then once it gets above that, it's going to switch over to on and start pumping over there again. The blaze burners do seem to last for quite a while, so we could probably adjust the thresholds here. I think it's fine as is. I don't think we really need to be that exact with it. I am glad to see this working. I hope it stays working. The one thing I am noticing is we do not have enough cobblestone. We should probably like triple this. Honestly, it's way not enough. That usage would be offset if we turned the cauldrons back on, but I kind of want to get rid of the big ugly lava pool and all the cauldrons here. I think I would rather just expand the like better solution here than keep the legacy system running. I can very much think of a way to like supply each one of these like 2 wide tiling units with its own one of these stone growth chambers, and that would be way more extensible. But we need some space, so honestly I'm gonna get rid of our lava here. It does feel kind of bad. I mean, like the tree farm that used to be there, this was a feature of our base. It was a big staple, it got us going, and now we just don't need it anymore, do we? Hey, how much damage did this do? Not that much. That's destroying the items, isn't it? I didn't realize that would actually work like lava. I should get rid of the cauldrons. And just like that, it's gone. Feels weird, doesn't it? Definitely did not recover all the dripstone. I don't know if that was all the cauldrons. Oh, definitely not. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have had an odd number, so I suspect some of those cauldrons got destroyed. Oh well. All this, like, gear wiring, we can definitely do better. These were designed to power the pumps from the cauldrons, but now they're just very awkward. Even this is awkward. I want to do better while we have the chance to do better. But I'm also so scared of both, like, worrying that I'm taking things down for the sake of taking things down, and also that I'm gonna do it wrong. Even just like putting things at the wrong speed, or the wrong rotation too. I really should have put a speedometer on this before. I don't know how fast it's supposed to go. I could, like, check my footage, I guess, but I don't know if it actually matters. I don't know if I need to match this. And going with, like, faster can't be that bad, right? 54%? We got power. Alright, I hate to do this, but I think I'm gonna have to fix this off camera, like, before my next recording session. I still don't know if this is going to be the end of episode, like, 8 or the start of episode 9, so, see you next time or in a few seconds, and hopefully I will have fixed this whole thing and made better lava generation. Alright, things are going to look a little bit different around here, again, because I have been playing off camera a little bit. Again, just trying to do kind of chores and not so interesting things. First off, I have been working on the house, finally. Kind of just the front, mostly. It's just a facade. I've also started to think about the interior a little bit more. The stairs are made of micro blocks now, or at least the edges, so that they have this border, which I think looks kind of nice. These windows are also all copycat bytes, so they are half the size of regular blocks on each dimension. There's now a back porch and a very important door that matters a lot. The roof I have started here I'm not super happy with, and I also realized I said I was going to make it out of copper, like last episode or the episode before or something, so I'm probably going to take it down and try to rebuild it with copper and make it a more interesting shape. In terms of the lava generation I left you off on, it's here. It's the same number of units at like 4, but hopefully it should be better. Like each unit individually should be better than the last version. Everything should be faster, especially because of the andesite dust. I'm using mechanical crafters instead of presses, which produce 2 at a time and also should be faster. Right now it's not actually using any lava, so we're not going to be able to see it like turn on. Hopefully it's better, and hopefully it should be easier to expand. Unfortunately, like, neither direction is actually going to be very good to expand. Unless I, like, mirror it to the other side. I'm not actually sure if you can share the multi-block for the stone growth chamber. I also took down the old, like, clay iron nugget flint thing, and I'm thinking I'm going to spend a lot of time just making farms, and remaking that in a better form is probably going to be one of the things I do there. This stone, I think I have been pronouncing wrong this whole time. There is a pigment that I think I had heard of but forgotten about called ochre, and presumably that is what this stone is named after, because, like, crimsite is crimson, and viridium is viridian, and azurine is azure. So it makes sense that this would also be named after a color. I just didn't think about it. I realized even after my fixes, this was not perfect because the dash thing was trying to output into this block and not that block. So I fixed that. Now we're getting actually a decent amount of dash. Although it should be stalled now because the quartz is full, I think. Yeah. I feel very scatterbrained now trying to recall everything I did. I also moved all of our chests here to the basement. So officially, the basement is kind of our home base floor. Everything we should need to, like, make things is down here. They're just in this corner here with our old workstations. It feels kind of cramped, but it's fine. I don't know where else to put things. Now, over here, we got another dormant analogous data drive, and I had a realization. Or maybe not realization. I tried to look up the solution and, like, what the next thing to do is, and I think I know what it is. And I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it here because I did a voiceover in last episode explaining it, but I found a trailer for this questline, basically, that showed the next step as basically being the same as the first step in the process. So, yeah, that looks right. Very slowly. Other side, yeah. Okay. I guess that's all we had to do this whole time. We just had to pour and then process again. This one is mall. So that gets us that quest. Now there's a polyvinyl sheet. This one says go exploring, so this time I guess we actually do have to find something. There are at least a pretty wide variety of loot tables this is in, so I'm not going to be like blindly looking for a random village chest or dungeon or something. Although I don't think I've found any of these polyvinyl sheets so far, so yeah, I really do just have to go exploring for them. I would rather not go off on another big wild goose chase adventure, so I'm not going to be going to do that right now, probably anytime soon. But that will be the next step in this quest line, eventually. I'm hoping we just find a few of them on our own, without having to go look for them. So I've done some looking around and thinking, and for these quests here, there's a certain number of crops we'll have to like farm in pretty large quantities. But there's also some crops we want to farm on our own for like automation. So I've separated these out into like ones we want to farm for quests and ones we actually want to farm automatically for our own purposes. I'm thinking right now I can set up some farms for the quest ones and then just do them manually, but I will also want to spend some time, maybe off camera again, because it's probably not going to be that interesting, setting up farms for things we actually want to make ourselves. But I'll also spend some time maybe off camera again, because some of them won't be that interesting, just making farms that we want to make for our own intrinsic motivation, not just extrinsic. I think the extrinsically motivated farms we can do on this like peninsula here, so I want to move the animals farther away. We haven't needed the animals for anything in a long time, so I don't really need them close by anymore. I'm gonna be honest, like the cow in a jar, I didn't realize it was a thing, or at least that you could automate it so easily. I was prepared when I did all that to just put a cow in a thing with a deployer and have the deployer just constantly milking the cow for any time we needed milk. So we really didn't need cows. The sheep we kind of needed for like windmill sales, but I don't need that many windmill sales. And theoretically we could also farm wool in a basically vegan way by crafting it from string that we get from straw that we get from bamboo or rice. So we could automate wool in the future without having to deal with animals at all. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, sheep. When I said I didn't need you guys anymore, I didn't mean it like that. Hey man, do you mind watching over the sheep and cows? Apparently he does, because he just crashed my game. Alright, I will ask him when it gets dark, because he seems more reasonable at night. I think we are good to entirely take down the wheat. I don't foresee myself needing any more wheat than we already have, because we have in the order of thousands. Yeah. That should be enough wheat for ever. I mean, I'll actually take a stack here, because we are almost out of sweet rolls. We're on to our last stack now. But I think once we get potatoes and clay going again, I'll have a new food source. Now, given that the comma is basically shears for sheep, I wonder... It is used for that. Okay. We're gonna need more pumpkin seeds than what I had just on hand, so I'm just gonna shear all of our pumpkins. And that will definitely be more than enough. Alright man, will you crash my game this time? Mushrooms, they're plotting something. Maybe they are, man. They're helping that Mario guy. I just got bad vibes from him. We have 3 more crops for this section. I kind of want to put some space between them, but if I put like a 3-wide path, it's gonna go right into the redstone here. So, not sure what to do. I could move that last section over like here. Wonder how much space there would be. That would leave exactly 3 blocks. Okay, another 3-block path. Maybe that's what I'll do just for aesthetics. You know, I don't know why I said I would do the automated ones off camera, and then I immediately started doing the, like, non-automated ones on camera. Because if anything is going to be boring, it's going to be this one, right? This last one here is a little more interesting. This is for rice, which I believe you grow in, like, 1 deep water. Like, really shallow, ankle-deep water. Dipping your roots. Alright, new farm should be all set up. Now we wait. Why are these not dehydrating? They should dehydrate, unless the rain is keeping them hydrated. I don't know if rain does that. Maybe I should just manually dehydrate them. Don't tell me this is broken again. I haven't run this since we, like, fixed it a long time ago. I think this should be locked to flower, and it's not. So let's try doing that. And now it should be working, I think. All these farms, I think, are going to be temporary. Once we have enough to satisfy the quests, we can safely get rid of them. So I'm not worried about, like, keeping the space occupied with them. The ones we want to automate, I care a little bit more about. I think we can use this island over here. It's not a huge island, but it should be able to fit, like, 6 farms or whatever, especially if we stack some of them on top of each other. I think most of those I will just do off camera because they're going to be boring radial farms again, but there's 1 or 2 that might be a little bit more interesting, especially the bulba root one, so I'll try to be on camera for that. I'm going into the caves because there is something I would like to try, and by try I mean like do, because I'm 99% sure this works. I've done it in a previous playthrough on like the same version of the pack, so I just have to remember where we had any amethyst geodes, because that is specifically what I need. We can't use the shimmer. We actually need budding amethyst, like, blocks. While we're down here, actually, I'm going to grab some crimsite to cheese a quest, because honestly, I don't think we need to automate crimsite. We're getting iron from other sources. If in the future we actually do end up needing, like, a significant amount of iron at once, or for some kind of massive processing thing, I guess I can automate it. We will be making the requisite blood for other reasons, so it's not like we're going to have to invest that much into it. There we go. Last one for this quest we need is the Scorchia, which we can't find anywhere. You see it doesn't show like natural generation, so we will have to make this manually once we have Blazing Blood. I do have a plan for Blazing Blood animation. It's really goofy. You'll just have to wait until we get Shimmer going. And speaking of Shimmer, we're going to need some amethysts for Shimmer. So that is why I've come down here. Now, I tried this on blaze spawners on the moon and it didn't work, but I'm pretty sure it should for budding amethysts, so it should be fine. And I made the same mistake as I made on the moon. It should be just the direct block under. Okay. So we put a cart assembler, and a rail, and if we power it, it attaches... Oh, is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. It attaches to the minecart. It becomes a minecart contraption, and we can now break that, and it has that block just permanently attached. We can move it around in our inventory. We can push it like a cart, and we can break it with our wrench and carry it around. That is how we are going to collect budding amethysts and like create a farm out of them. It's exceptionally goofy. I have made many minecarts for it because it is also kind of slow and I want to make as few trips as possible. I also can't put them in my backpack for some reason, probably like too much MBT data or something, so I'll have to keep them in my regular inventory. Now I don't know how many of these I should hope to get, like how many I'm going to want for the farm, so I'm going to try to use a farm design that doesn't really care, like something that we can easily expand to add more budding amethysts later. Why can't I do anything with that? What's going on there? Oh, there's no card assembler. That would explain it. Oh, that's really funny. That's like the dumbest clock ever. Going around and collecting these budding amethysts from as many geodes as I can find is also something I'm going to want to do off camera probably. So, not going to do a lot of it right now. I'm just going to collect as many as I can from this geode, either as many as the geode has budding amethyst blocks or as many minecarts as I have, whichever runs out first. I think the hardest part of this process is going to be placing down the budding amethysts where we want them for the farm, so the farm design I come up with will try to keep that in mind. Looks like that's actually the last one, so I have 1 extra minecart. That's irritating. 11 is an unfortunate number to end off on. No offense to 11 fans, I just think your goat is washed. Behold the shaven interior of a geode. Oh yeah, there is one literally right here. I guess I can get one more. This is where we got our dripstone originally, remember that? All that dripstone for a lava farm we took down and don't even have anymore. Oh, hello. I guess maybe I'll put up a temporary chest somewhere of like things we're going to automate. I'll put all of these carts in with the required things to unpack them. And all these individual crops I'll put there as well. Alright, so I guess we can do the thing I had in mind earlier when I started talking about the lava generator. What I want to do is take this netherrack and crush it down into netherrack dust, and then combine that with sand to make red sand, and then wash that sand to make zinc nuggets and dead bushes. The zinc nuggets are the important part. I kind of designed this setup to have an easy way to add a belt down here so that we can extract from the netherrack and move it over to the side. I think I'm going to do it over this way because there's not a ton of space to make something tall just because of that windmill there. Now, I'm not sure the best way to go about conditionally powering this belt, but I'm thinking a shaft under here that we can rig up with a clutch on our threshold switch like that. So we can actually hook it up just like this with our existing like torch there. It should be inverted compared to the one next to it. And I wish I could run that through a pipe, but I cannot. So I guess let's do it around like this. I'll have to just gear it once. Okay, that works. Now we want to run them through some crushing wheels because that should be faster than milling them. And then we want to do an automated shapeless crafting recipe. Who's attacking me? Excuse me. There. So we want to put into basins. We will need sand coming from somewhere. I will worry about that later. We will be washing red sand into zinc nuggets and dead bushes, so I will prepare some belts off to this side. Probably a bunch going in parallel like this for better throughput or whatever. I'll have some buffers to collect the products. We only need 2 lines of them. I still wish I knew a better way to have like contained water for this kind of thing, other than just flowing off into baskets. And I think I'm still committing the sin here of making parallel lines when my throughput and like production is not going to be able to support that many, because I'm going to need sand in all of these, and I don't think like a single stone growth chamber is going to be enough sand. And I don't have these running in a line, they're all just like 1 stone growth chamber per unit. So I can't draw excess from that. So maybe I'll just cut this down to 2. 2 should be enough. So netherrack dust we can also pour water onto to make cinder flour, which can be used to make a few different things. I'm not worried about it right now, but it is something we will probably want in the future. So I'll leave this extended a little bit in anticipation of maybe putting it into a drawer or something later. I'm going to try something kind of funny here and have these go up, and then we put more crushing wheels. Oh, that's too hot. Okay, more crushing wheels like that, and then we can have the sand going through those to get crushed. And we'll have to move that. Oh, ooh, okay. I'll have to put the sand onto that somehow. And then we can funnel from that belt onto the basin. We will need another crushing step to turn cobblestone into the gravel that we need to crush into sand. So what if we do like a corner thing around that? I don't know if I've ever done that before, but it sounds neat. And it's also going to annoy me forever because I'm using an odd number of crushing wheels here. But maybe, just maybe, it's going to be worth it because of how funny it is. That's going the wrong way. Oh no. That's also going the wrong way. Why do those both have to go the wrong way? Please tell me this one would put it the right way. Nice. Okay. Cool. Alright, this should be able to keep up even if we only do one at a time. Wait. No. What am I doing wrong? Hold on. Something's up. Cobblestone and gravel. Oh. Oh, you just have to mill it. You can't crush. That's... Well, okay, you could crush. You get extra products that I don't want. So, we're gonna have to use millstones here. Oh, man. Getting right up against the windmill. This is a bad idea. If that windmill wasn't there, I would do a belt on top with chutes going down and use the like inline crushing wheels, but now it is one shifted over. I can't do that. And I am kind of irritated by that fact, and it is my own doing. Alright, stupid idea. What if I have a chute going down like that? in the stone growth chamber on top. Just barely not in the way of the windmill. Like, okay, to be clear, I think you can have blocks in the way of windmills, because that's how, like, those ones work, pretty much. Like, you get to see the sails going straight through leaves. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to have to, like, unanchor this and then it, like, breaks things in its path. And also I don't want to have to work while that is going over me. And also I think it would be ugly. And I care so much about aesthetics. Alright, that should be working. And now I just have to power the mixers. So I'll just put that like that, and then this one like that. That's a mess. It's always a mess. Everything I do is a mess. That should be making red sand. I'm going to filter these just for like peace of mind, I guess. Let's be unnecessarily compact and power those belts like that. And then we have to get power to the fans somehow. Please go the right way. Okay, good. So those should wash. And maybe I should use brass funnels here to extract more at a time. Oh, and I need to filter. Come on, stop. Oh, I should have seen that coming. So our two products are bushes and nuggets. We're gonna have nuggets come out the bottom. And then they can drop into a basin here for the press to press. Made sure to filter that this time, although I don't actually think it matters. Oh, it does. There is a zinc trapdoor. So, glad I thought of it this time. And that should be zinc. Now, the bushes are probably clogging it. Yep. The bushes we can have there. And let's see what we can do with bushes. We can make flowers. And sticks. Making flowers is cool, but it requires shimmer, which we don't have, and it's not like we need flowers. I think we are fine to trash these, so I'm gonna go get a lava bucket. We will need like 512 or something for a quest, so I'm going to want to collect a certain amount. I'm not going to trash all of them, just the excess. Yeah, this one here, we need 256. Already at 31, should not take very long at all. And I'm going to dig out a tunnel for drawer connectors so we can put these onto our system. In fact, I should use a shadow drawer here instead of the regular drawer so that it goes into our regular zinc ingot supply. I will have to go back with a shadow drawer later because I didn't bring one with me. And I'm trying to be very careful when digging this tunnel so I don't let items pop out the top and clog our belts again. So that's why I'm digging it out the very specific way I am. I'm gonna have to cover up this tunnel because digging through sand means all of this is just going to collapse in on me. Not for very much longer. So there's actually a few alternate ways to get red sand. We could be either crushing granite or crushing terracotta. Terracotta's easy, obviously that's just cooked clay. Granite we can get from crimsite as a byproduct, or by pouring quartz onto diorite. Or by doing those. I mean, that's the red sand we are looking for. I don't want to do any of those. We have plenty of netherrack, I think, so as long as this doesn't start actually draining this stuff to a considerable degree, I think we are fine to do it this way. That's still at 2048, so we should be fine. Drawers connected. Let's switch this out for a shadow drawer. We might have to manually put something in it to register. Yep. I'll take one of our 85 dead bushes so far, so that we can register it over here. Maybe you there instead. And I'll come back to this later and check in on it. I'm not seeing it go up at all now, which is kind of worrying me. I wonder if something clogged the belt. They're simply not receiving netherrack dust. Ooh, where'd I go? Oh, it has to be like moving, right? Yeah, they only pick up when it's moving for some reason, so what I could use instead are buffers, which don't care about this thing moving. Means I don't have to care about like, doing something with these quite yet. I can just leave them on the belt. And now this should actually be good to just go and produce zinc and dead bushes for us. First crop harvest is go. Not everything is mature, but I figure I should harvest now so I can finish planting. Now for these farming quests, we're going to need not like a stack of most of these crops, we're going to need a stack of crates, which are 9 each, so it's gonna take a while. But honestly not that long, like these can just grow passively in the background and I can come over here and harvest every once in a while. And for these 3 crops here, we have like 64 plus 16 farming spaces, so it's not going to take that long to get 9 stacks. Especially the carrots and onions, which give more than 1 per harvest, especially with fortune on our pickaxe as we harvest. For the melons, we need melon blocks, and I would rather not do the lossy thing of breaking them and then crafting into melons, so we should probably break these with Silk Touch. I've been thinking about putting Silk Touch on either the Matic or the hand axe, so I will probably do it on the axe, I think, because I might not want it on the Matic all the time, and the axe, I don't think there's anything you need, like, fortune on for an axe, even in, like, vanilla, so that's fine. Oh, right, these give rice panicles, which we have to turn into rice by, like, crushing. So that's going to be some extra steps. We could also just craft it, but we get straw if we crush it, so I want the straw. The pumpkins and melons are going to go, like, stupid quick. Like, not all of these are grown, and we're still getting almost half of what we need. Alright, in our tinker's chest here, we should have 5 silky cloth we made for a quest a long time ago. That barrel is backwards, I just realized. I don't remember why I put it like that. Let's do X and 5 cloths. And it's pink-tipped X. X, and we already have another pumpkin, look at that. And we have more rice. Maybe I should put a millstone here. Alright, super quick and ugly setup here. Again, all these farms are temporary, so it doesn't need to be nice looking. We can drop rice on top. Should mill it. And we get the products on bottom. This is not receiving the netherrack dust still. Oh, that's why. 147 dead bushes, over halfway there. So I want to talk a little bit about kind of the pace of this series and like progression, because I've been doing a lot of stuff back on Earth. I haven't even been to Moon in a long time. We've done quest progression in terms of like brass casings and related things, into the mechanical crafters, into the crushing wheels, but past that, we haven't been looking at these quests very much. We're not progressing rightward to the rocket. We've gotten some random things from like quest rewards and loot to get some of these electric related blocks, but we haven't made any of those ourselves. We're not creating electricity yet anywhere. And I think that's just kind of my mindset when playing. I'm not here to like rush through the quests, except when I'm rushing to something that will help us like progress faster, like making automation and stuff. I want to automate like all of the important resources I can like now so that I have them going. And that's like because automating these resources now is going to make it easier to progress again. Like we will be able to automatically make a ton of these crafting materials we need, like the lapis sheets. Once we get, automated lapis lazuli, that'll be easy. Or the integrated circuits. Like we're not automating silver right now, but we could be. We turn limestone into raw tin, which gives us some silver. And we will be tasked with making a lot of these, not only because we will have explicit quests saying make 128 of these. That's not that many. We will just straight up need to craft a lot of things that use them, so automating them would be nice to do. I am keeping a list of like tasks, kind of like farms I want to make, things I want to automate, and that list is steadily dwindling, so we're getting there. We're getting to the point where we can actually make like technology progress and not just base progress. Just to go over some of my like major projects I want to get done, I want to make a new thing for tin and clay, and then there's a few things I want to do with automated clay and flint that will in turn give us like even more resources and stuff we'll need. Once we make the other like 6 or so farms that I didn't put here, we'll have the ability to automate a few more interesting things like blood and blazing blood. Getting shimmer automated is going to be a big one because there's so many interesting things we can make with shimmer. Like if I just look at uses for shimmer, there's 61 pages of these. Most of them are like enchantments. Although come to think of it, like I actually can't think of too many specific things we need shimmer for right now, but I feel like there have been things where it's just like, huh, if we just had shimmer, it would be so much easier to like go through this blood here is actually a really important one. Blood is used for a bunch of random things, like crimsite even. It's also what we need the beetroot and tomatoes for. Yeah, honestly, I guess it's pretty much just the blood that's the important thing here. Blood, we could turn into blazing blood, but I have a different way of making it. We could turn into crimsite, but we have a different way of getting iron. There are some sequence recipes that aren't showing up here for sure. Like, I remember the cow in a jar specifically needed blood. And blood just doesn't show as a use in that for some reason. So maybe I should be, like, cataloging those uses as I see them so I don't forget. Why are some of these not getting hydrated? I don't understand. That's why. Okay, that would explain it. My bad. I think my concerns about, like, the pace of this series are why I'm being more comfortable doing things off camera. Because I'm realizing that I really don't need to be showing, like, every little thing I need to do. And it's been almost as long since we went to the moon as it took us to get to the moon in the first place. And I still don't really feel like anywhere near ready to go to Mars, just because the moon unlocked so much. I've already kind of forgotten if there was anything else I wanted to say on that topic, so I guess I'll end that little chat there. I guess just, do be aware that I have ideas for what I'm doing, and I'm trying to keep pacing in mind and not just make this part a slog. That's why I'm planning on making so many farms off camera, is because I really don't want to spend the time doing that all on camera. Like, I could spend an entire episode or 3 making like 15 automatic farms, but it's not going to be that interesting. I would rather use that episode time on something like newer, something more fun, something that actually feels like we are making progress. As important as I think making these farms are, I recognize that they are not going to feel like it, really. Like, okay, neat. Let's say we spend a whole episode making farms for beetroot and tomatoes and cocoa beans and whatever else that was even in there. We're going to walk away from the episode having made a lot of stuff, but it's not going to feel like we learned anything. It's not going to feel like we enriched ourselves from that. And by we, I mean you, the viewer, because I have already made these kinds of farms in the past. It's not like I'm learning that much from doing them again, as much as I just enjoy the process of, like, playing through and kind of going through the motions. Where do I want to, like, bridge over? I gotta kind of plan out this island, I think. Maybe cut down all the trees right now. I did decide that waking up sequence is going to be the start of this episode, and I would end the previous episode with, like, falling asleep. So we're probably, like, halfway through this episode, if I had to guess. Either before I record for the second half of the episode, or between the end of this episode and the start of next episode, I will try to make all those farms, and then we can spend some time actually doing something with the products of those. Or maybe the end of this episode should be the more interesting farms there, like the bulba root and the amethyst. I should definitely have some time soon to... That's such a loud sound. I should have some time soon to, like, do the menial stuff and go collect some more amethyst and stuff. So I should be able to get most or all of that done by the end of this episode, basically, or like the start of the next recording session. I don't have too much longer to record, like, at this very moment, though. Let's just look at some quests. We have some stuff to claim, things that I did accidentally. We got some cacti, gold ore. We got some rails from that one set piece. You got more train tracks. I picked up some coral and a coral reef on the way back from the tomato adventure way down here. It's just this little coral reef. We could also make these with shimmer and various things, but I figured I'd just pick up one of each of them to get this quest done. We get some sea pickles. We are at over 4 stacks of dead bushes, so we can get that quest done. That gives us XP and some rose gold chests. That's kind of nice. And there's only like 3 quests left in this chapter, so there's this one, which we just need Scorchia for. We'll get that once we have Blazing Blood. I don't think we'll automate it, because zinc we are now getting from our red sand thing. There's this one for making a whole bunch of tracks. I'll do that eventually. We haven't made any of our own rail stuff, but these are pretty easy quests. I just have to do them. There's this one for making a display link. Let's do that right now. There is an easier recipe for this using brass stuff, but I am cheap, so I'm going to do the cheaper recipe. That also completed this quest down here for making these things. It This is the one that tells you about the brass recipes that are easier. But for making them in the first place, along with the display boards we found on the moon, we got name tags and more display boards. These are pretty neat blocks. I've never used them, and I don't know where we would put them, but you can use them to display things on screens somewhere, and the display link can show you like throughput or processing speed or whatever of your automation. Maybe if we had another like big building, I could put these up somewhere in there and have like a big monitoring setup, but this one building is taking me long enough. I don't want to start another one. And the last quest in this chapter that I see is this one for making andesite pavement. I've been holding off on this because I want to automate this once we get a new tin set up, because this compound mixture we can make with tin and clay just automatically. That's something I will want to do. It's not like we're low on andesite alloy. We have a full toolbox of 256 plus all of this. But automating it will definitely be nice. That's going to make me feel better about automating things that use it, like andesite casings, which we're also not low on. But we could also use it for decoration, like, I don't know, you can make catwalks or the andesite alloy blocks or whatever. The pavement itself is a great example. I don't want to use, like, handcrafted stuff for that. But it would be nice to have just, like, automatically infinite pavement, right? Alright, gamers, I have gotten quite a bit done since we last spoke. You'll start to see some things in the background. I don't know why I like doing this, like teasing things. Asking you to spot the difference. So you can kind of tell the passage of time by how much farming I've done. We have more than enough carrots and onions and melons and pumpkins at this point. We're still waiting on cabbage and the rice over there. Rice is taking a long time. This stuff takes like forever to grow. If I check the rice barrel here, we only have less than half of what we need for the bag of rice quest over here. I might give it until the cabbage is done and then just bone meal the rest of what I need, because I don't want to leave those farms up for very much longer. I could definitely take down like 4 of the 6 right now if I wanted to. So anyway, the most obvious new stuff that has happened is this whole island has been transformed into a windmill paradise. So as well as like making most of the farms I said I wanted to make, I have tried to make it look nice as well. And I think it came out pretty well. It's simple, but it still took me a long time to do. So I gotta be happy with it. We have the like more normal boring crops on the 4 corners. So over here we got potatoes, we got wheat, and over here we got some beetroot and tomatoes. I stacked up bamboo and kelp in the center because they are both a little bit different. I mean, the bamboo I could have farmed in pretty much the same configuration as all of these, but the kelp I figured would be nice to put under something else, just because it has to have like a pool of water around it. The cocoa beans here, I kind of like what I came up with here. They rotate around the center, so that allows me to still use like a radial design. I was thinking of maybe instead using either like a mechanical piston or maybe like a gantry crane, but this seemed easier, and I haven't shown the gantry stuff at all yet. This stuff here, I will want to use these shortly, so just wait a little bit. We can access the second level from these stairs here, and they also go underground into the access tunnels. And you can see everything is connected with shafts and door connectors. And these are connected to the like main network we have. The shaft goes to our main peninsula. It's not connected to the other like island over there, because those are still separate. The drawers are all connected between like all of our areas here. So all one big system, and that is very important, and I'll show why in a moment. All of our outputs of the farms are just going into these drawers right now because I didn't know what to do with them. We don't have a lot of space left in our basement. Now the last section here is going to be for bulba root, probably like on the bottom part because it has to hang downwards, and then amethyst. I'm thinking of like vertical columns of amethyst. And in fact, I have collected a lot of amethyst blocks. These are all budding amethysts. So we'll see how much that actually looks like when we start placing them down, but I'm hoping it's a good amount. I don't know. We can always get more, and I'm thinking of a design that will be relatively easy to add more to. So if our production is insufficient, we can always expand it. Anyway, on our like stone production island over here, I have added a big amount of stuff. All of this section that's in frame right now is new. And this is me trying to take advantage of our drawers. So we were mostly producing a lot of like intermediary products that I was either handcrafting or just like crafting in bulk manually before. We have seared bricks here, we have andesite alloy and andesite casing. I also have drawers for andesite and cobbled deep slate here. The cobbled deep slate has a millstone attached, so I could turn it into redstone and copper nuggets, but I want to let it build up a little bit because there's a quest to get 2048. We're also making limestone here as the replacement for the thing we had a long time ago at this point. At least it feels a long time ago to me. I don't know. All like 10 of our flint drawers I've condensed into some upgraded ones here that it can draw from. So hopefully these will be going down over time. Now there's a couple new things we're making here as well. So this is andesite pavement. This, you walk faster when you're stepping on it. It gives you speed. I'm thinking of using this at least as our basement floor, because I think it would make for a nice basement floor, and the speed bonus would be nice. We might even use it as, like, paths, like, replacing all of these rubber slabs with paths around our base. My concern with that is that there aren't, like, slabs or stairs out of andesite pavement, so let's say this bridge here, we want to replace the material in it. We would lose the speed bonus, and that might get kind of jarring. And I doubt it carries over if you put it in a copycat. I don't think it would carry that property, because even like light blocks don't get the property of like emitting light in copycat blocks as far as you know. And I say that with authority because those glowstone blocks there I had initially tried as copycat slabs and they did not emit light. So that is why I know that. The next thing I want to show I will have to be hungry for, so just running around a tree a little bit. So these sweet rolls have been lasting us a while. You know, they're pretty good. They got a decent amount of saturation. But there is a much better and very easy food source we can use. This is the entire reason we're farming potatoes way over there. So if you pour seared stone onto a potato, it turns into something called a seared potato. And you can already see, like, that is 14 hunger, 14 saturation, I think, compared to 6 and 9. So that's, like, much better already. However, there is an even better version of the seared potato that is made just by pouring molten gold onto a seared potato. It is the dipped potato. And it is absurd. Like, look at that. It is almost your entire food bar, just minus, like, half of a food thing. And then 21 saturation. Like, that's more saturation than you have space for, right? I'm pretty sure your max saturation is only 20, so it's absurd. It's crazy. And as if it, like, needed to get any better, when you eat it, it gives you absorption 4, resistance 3. So you're, like, basically invincible for, like, 20 seconds. I don't know why it's so good. It's also, like, extremely easy. Like, the seared potatoes, I think you get resistance as well, and these are easy to make once you have clay automation, because you can just do the easier method of making the seared stone rather than going through grout. The dipped potato, you at least need to have automated gold for, but I mean, we did that kind of a while ago at this point. And by the nature of, like, better foods giving you more, like, hunger and saturation, they will last longer, so we'll go through them slower than we're going through the sweet rolls, and the sweet rolls already have lasted us so long. Unfortunately, that does mean I will probably take out the sweet roll maker that we have built our basement around. I'm not sure what to do with that space exactly. I do kind of like this cutout as a little, like, refill spot, so I'll probably put the dipped potato and at least one other thing here that I'll need to, like, refill on occasionally. But the interior space, I'm not sure what I'll do with. And this automation line is kind of a mess. It's very cramped and messy. But I also wanted to serve as kind of a demonstration of my master plan with the drawers. This zinc is stored way in our, like, actual storage over there, and we can access it to create the, like, andesite compound mixture here. Same with the potatoes that are somewhere around here. I think they're, like, behind some of these drawer connectors. Those potatoes are being farmed, like, across the render distance way over there, and we can still access them wherever we want as long as we can fit some drawer connectors to it. It doesn't exactly, like, remove all of the logistics challenge, but it definitely makes things a lot easier. I wouldn't want to, like, run a ton of belts or weighted ejectors or whatever going to a central storage room. This is so much easier. And it still might not be as easy as like an ME system, but we don't have electricity yet, so I'm not worried about that. So I think our next steps are to first farm Bulbaroot and Amethyst over there. That's going to do a lot for us. And then we can automate Azurine, which is Cobalt. We might even want to do Crimsite just because we can. Like, we have the ability to make blood now. I was using iron for a while instead of zinc to create the ally, like, compound mixture over there. So the iron supply is a bit down from what it was, but we still have plenty of iron. I'm not worried about that, really. In fact, I just made a ton of iron sheets, so we even have, like, more than we can fit there. Let me upgrade that. How about we start with Bulbaroot, because it's cool and new and modded. I'm actually going to take out the whole andesite floor here, because I think I want to replace that with Moonstone. We saw this like 5 episodes ago when we found the Bulbaroot on the moon, but it grows on the underside of blocks, and I'm pretty sure it has to be on Moonstone. I tried putting it on like wood logs at our basement, and it didn't work. So we can plant it like that, yeah. Just makes like a very bassy tone in that place sound. It's kind of uncomfortable. It grows absurdly quick. That's already mature. Yeah, I just went to get a couple things, and it is already reaching the floor. So we can mine the mature ones, and they give us Bulbaroot, Prismarine Shards, and Prismarine Crystals. All of those products are useful to us for different reasons. The Bulbaroot we can turn into Shimmer, the Prismarine Shards we can turn into Prismarine, which we can turn into Azurine, and the Prismarine Crystals we can actually turn into diamonds. 8 Prismarine Crystals into a diamond nugget, and then 9 diamond nuggets into a diamond. And my plan for harvesting them here is basically have a big kind of chamber, just so they have space to grow, and have a rotary thing with drills just to mine out the second layer, so they keep the root, they will keep growing downwards, and then the rotary thing will break them. And I will want that to be on a timer so it doesn't break immature ones. It tries to wait until we have a lot of mature ones to break. Oh yeah, there's rabbits in my tunnels. They were inhabitants of the island before I moved in, so I guess they have just appreciated my tunnel work. As for collecting the drops, I think maybe we could have, like, water streams, maybe, or if that's a little too low-tech, we could have a bunch of belts converging on a single point. I'm not actually sure how far down these can grow, so I want to watch them a little bit before I commit to, like, digging another 3 blocks down or whatever. Although I might want to do that anyway, just so the collection floor is under the floor of the tunnels. It does kind of seem like 4 blocks is the maximum. Yeah, I'm not seeing them go any farther down. I think I want to try the water stream, so I'm going to go down 1 more for the water level. I don't know if I really talked about it, but this pack comes with a, like, on by default texture pack, and I don't like all the changes in it, but making the polished andesite, like, bricks is really nice. There are andesite bricks in Create, these ones here, but I don't like the look of those as much. They're like too light, they are too kind of square and clean cut to me. I just like the dark rounded look of these ones. Now I do have to think actually, do I want the rotary thing to come from the ceiling or the floor? Because if the floor, then collection and like going around it might be a little more complicated. If the ceiling, I'll have to power it from the top. Oh, come on, man. If the ceiling, I'll have to power it from the top, but I will need power up top anyway for the amethyst, so I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll have a thing going up like in the back where it's harder to see. That will power both of those. Yeah, I like putting it in the ceiling best, I think. Probably should have made those the pillars. Let me go get some more andesite blocks. I really should get more comfortable just like bringing a stone cutter with me when I'm building, if I expect to need more. And also theoretically something I could do is if I expect to need a lot of andesite, I could like hook up a shadow drawer here and put andesite in it, and then I could just have infinite andesite where I'm working. Both of these are things I say I could do, and I could do them like right now to help me with building right now, and yet I'm not doing them. Dude, this poor donkey. Oh, okay. Got free. You're much better. I don't have a funny way to kill you. No. I realized I can't say ow to fall damage anymore because of the blaze backpack. I have to find other times to say ow. Has it even been noticeable that saying out and minor damage is a bit I was trying to go for? Okay. I don't think having that, like, straight on is good. That is perfect. Although having it in the corner is kind of weird. So it will all collect in the middle. I will have a little collection room here, and I'll find a way to connect it to our tunnels. Maybe I should call these catacombs, because it has cat in the name. I don't even know if it's accurate though. What is the technical definition of a catacomb? Alright, they're not the nicest looking access tunnels, but they're access tunnels. They don't have to be nice looking. They just go around symmetrically, and it's raining right through the hull. Okay. Oh yeah, and the reason we're doing like a regular collection system here instead of using a barrel on the rotary setup is that when we break just this layer, right, it's going to drop all the extra items down. So we can't rely on everything getting picked up by the machine. Oh yeah, and I brought some framed glass to make this look a bit nicer and prevent the items from dropping out. Mostly the latter.
Hey gamers, it's Editing Me here. If I sound sick, trust me, it's a different sick than I was when I was recording this episode. I've gotten sick twice in 2 weeks. It's not fun. Anyway, recording me when I recorded this part like 2 weeks ago, muted at this point, and then forgot to unmute. Honestly, I don't even know why I have a mute button on my setup, but it was bound to lead to a situation like this. So now I'm going to talk over things in editing, and that's how we're going to end the episode. Hope it's fine. I've clipped out a few like moments of interest that we can watch over. It probably won't take that long. So here we have me just planting the bulb, I guess. Yeah, I'm doing that. I should mention I also clipped out these moments of interest like days ago as of recording this. Really unfortunate to get sick before I had to do the recording for here, you know. So I don't remember exactly why I clipped all of these. Wow, it harvested. We got that stuff. Wow. Oh no, I was gonna put them onto the drawers and then they started filling up. Oh no, now I have to fix them. No. Wow. Okay, I fixed them. And now they're on there. Hooray. Awesome. Okay, and yeah, they're going in. And it's working. Yeah, good. Awesome, cool. Okay, so now we're actually making the harvester thing. We have a mechanical bearing and a bunch of drills, and I'm gluing them together. Look at that glue. I think I was going to say something about the glue here. So this is the first tube of glue we've made in the series, like many episodes ago. And somehow it has lasted this long despite all the windmills and stuff we're making. I don't remember if it breaks while making this this whole thing, but it has served us well, and it's incredibly cheap, so we could easily make more. And I think I put like an extra one in my toolbox or something. All right, so we're running up power from back there, from down in the tunnel. Yeah, gearbox, awesome. That's a great idea. Okay, we made a hopper clock, and I was playing with the timings a little bit, and I eventually realized like I should just have it on like 5 stacks. That would make the most sense. And here it is harvesting after, I think, growing for 5 stacks worth. So you can see not everything is mature, but it's pretty good. Here I'm making a sequenced gear shift, which is a thingy that is cool, but I don't have a plan for, because you have to be smart to use it, and I'm not like that. But it was just for a quest, and then I think that led to a quest that gave us the gantry carriage, which you are kind of, I guess, supposed to use with the sequenced gear shift, but you don't have to. I guess I should actually talk about the sequence gear shift. So the sequence gear shift lets you basically like program a series of turns that the pipe, not the pipe, what am I saying? That the shaft should take, and like super precisely like figure out and like tell it what direction to turn and when and for how long. So it's cool for making like really detailed big machines, and that's not my style because I'm not very good at create. Anyway, gantry, make some shafts. I make a bunch of shafts. Here's how the gantry works. You can put the carriage on the shafts, and then you have to spin the shafts, and it goes in a certain way, and if you flip the direction of the spin, wow, it goes the other way. It's incredible. And as you might expect, you can like glue things to the gantry carriage, so it will carry things with it. And just like we have like drills and saws on the like windmills that get automatically like powered as they move, we can do things like that with the gantry carriage, and we're going to do that with drills here to harvest amethyst. You see how I have 8 amethysts laid out to kind of sketch the pattern. We're going to basically pillar up all of the budding amethysts I collected above these, right? And then we'll have a drill on each side of the blocks, and it'll harvest it, and it'll be cool. So here's that. There's the drills. Awesome. Yeah. Wow. And very tight gluing, and I durability is really important. So I started using the second glue stick here. I think I like crafted them together or something. Because I didn't want to break the first one, right? You never want to break tools. Yeah. So now, yeah. Wow. I realized at some point you don't even need to put the cart assembler to disassemble it, as long as you just like left click the cart with your wrench. It basically automatically disassembles it where it was. And the cart flying off there is super annoying. I wish it didn't do that. I don't know why it does it, but I had to go and pick up all the carts afterwards. Anyway, yeah, this is how I did it. You just place one rail, one cart at a time. It got a lot faster when I stopped using the minecart assemblers. I also lost a lever at some point. Hold on, let's go back to that. You say I only have 3 levers in there? That was a mystery I realized later. I don't remember if it was in this episode or like next episode or something. So, get excited for the mystery of the missing lever. Wow. Yeah, I also lost 2 of the budding amethysts. I don't know how that happened. And I also like miscounted. I collected, what was it, 48 budding amethysts, and I started doing pillars of 8 in groups, like 8 different pillars as well. So I should have had 64 to fill all that in, and I ended up not having enough for these 2 in the front, and then also missing those 2 somehow. So I had to go back for 18 more. So here I am doing that. Wow. Wow. Collecting more. Incredible. Just like we saw before. Oh, I'm back. And fix all that up. Yay. And then, whoa, I got the lever back. Wait, where did that come from? I think it was like in one of the carts or something. I actually don't remember. I made a bigger deal out of it in the recording, but that is lost to time. Oh, it's slow, but it's working. It goes up. It goes down. Goes up and it goes down. So we're going to use the smart observer here. This lets us detect a certain block in front of it, and we're going to use that to detect a fully grown crystal, so that the thing will know to, go up and then come back down once the observer sees a fully grown crystal in front of it. So I don't have to worry about like specific timings and say like, oh, it should go every 10 minutes exactly. It's just going to go when that one observer sees a crystal in front of it. And I wanted it to be really fast, so I ended up using a one of these rotation speed controllers, and I had some trouble figuring out how I wanted it to be wired up, but that's what I figured out. But yeah. I made this pulse extender from Create, and it goes up to a really big pulse. I had some trouble figuring out exactly how it's supposed to work. I don't remember what I ended up like choosing for it. But you can see there's a piston with a redstone block that is being powered by the smart observer if it detects that crystal, and so it will power this pulse extender, and then that will go for a couple minutes, so the carriage can like go up and break all the crystals and then come back down. And here's the output here. I usually use like chutes to output from portable storage interfaces just because I trust them and you don't have to like power anything there, but this is what I had space for. So I have a funnel going into the belt, and yeah. There's something kind of funny with this where it only deposits as it's going up. So the carriage basically has a full like stored inventory, like a full harvest of crystals at any given time. It's fine, like a little bit of buffer, it's whatever. And then I'm just using all these shoots here because, like, okay, I think you could just drop them down. It would be fine, but I don't want to have items despawning if that ever becomes an issue. So I'd rather have something that will contain the items indefinitely. Ow. It's funny, I made that comment earlier about, wow, I can't say ow because I don't take fall damage, but there's still random janks sometimes where you fall a strange amount of blocks and you take a little tick. Oh well. We're gonna do something just like we did for the other farms where we have it go into like a barrel. Oh, I didn't show that. Where we have it go into like a barrel, and then that barrel will get extracted from into shadow drawers that go into our main drawers and whatever, and it's fine. And I guess that's all I show for that farm for the now. Here I'm looking at the azurine recipe. It takes water, prismarine, kelp, and blue dye. Prismarine we are getting from the bulba root. Kelp we're getting from the kelp farm at the new island. Water, who knows where water comes from. Blue dye, I'm gonna come up with something for it because that's not in this episode. Whoops. Okay. Here I'm going to sleep. It's the end of the episode. Goodbye. I don't know what I'm doing.